Yo, this is the Lorax, written by Dr. Seuss, and I'm gonna rap this book. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows and no birds ever sing except the no crows is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say if you look deep enough you can still see the day where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old onceler lives there, ask him, he knows. You won't see the onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof where he makes his own clothes at a myth-muffered move. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail and makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his stub, his secret strange hole in his grubble, his glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slup, down slups a whisper my phone to your ear, and the old once's whispers are not very clear since they have to come down through a snurgly hose. And he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back, way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swami swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place and I first saw the trees, a truffle of trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffle of trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and they truffle of fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffle of trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tusks was much softer than silk and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do, I unloaded my cart. In no time at all I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffle of tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard, I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing that you've made out of my truffle of tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree, I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful, this thing is a thneed. A thneed's to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax, you poor stupid guy, you can never tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him, shut up if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone, I put in a quick call. I called all of my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole oncer family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Niche, turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole oncer family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees to the sound of the chopping of truffle of trees. Then oh baby oh, how did my business grow? Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle of trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping down as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle of fruits. Now thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle of fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food and I hope that they may. Good luck boys, he cried and he sent them away. I the oncer felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered my loads. Of the thneeds I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. And again he came back, I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed, he sneezed and he snuffled, he gargled, he sniffed. Onceler he cried with the cruppleless croak, onceler you're making such smuggleless smoke. My poor swami swans, but they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They can't live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. What's more, snap the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about the gluppity glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity glup, also sloppity slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler man, you. You're glumping up the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off, or the future is dreary. They walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Then I got mad, I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here dad, all you do is yap yap and say bad bad bad. Well I have my rights sir, and I'm telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thieves, which everyone needs. And at that very moment we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard a tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts, everyone away me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke smugger stars. Now all that was left me the bad smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backwards glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he heisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well I couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years when my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the one sir, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is gonna get better, it's not. So catch calls the one sir, he let something fall. It's a truffle of seed, it's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle of seeds. And truffle of trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest protected from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of its friends may come back.
Arcadium.